Hello and welcome to the Daily Sniper. My name is Steven, also known as Sniper. In tonight's video, I'm going to be going over the trades we ended up taking yesterday and today, as well as preparing you guys to trade the best setups at the best prices. Let's get into it. So, what we ended up discussing in yesterday's pre-market live stream, we were able to identify a gap on the chart. Okay, so we had two major levels we were keeping an eye on. We were keeping an eye on January 13th's low, right? January's low, and we were keeping eye on this gap, okay, from November 5th. We knew that this was the best level right here, was the best level to be buying call options at, because if we lose this level, you know where SPY is going? SPY is going all the way down to 568 to break under 568. So we knew the risk to reward at this level was the best level to be buying call options at. What did we end up doing yesterday? Let me show you right now. On Tuesday's trading day, right? The only trade I ended up getting into was calls. Okay? And what did I do? I went April 30th, 591 calls. And I know. Listen to me. I'm the preacher of buying the contracts that you are seeing. But in my technical analysis, especially on the 30-minute time frame, right? I'm going to show you right now where we're currently trading at to where we currently are right now. Okay, so we knew bottoming here. The biggest level we're going to be retesting, there's two at 584.50, as you can see the previous support into resistance, and then 591.65. That is the reason why I ended up getting 591 calls. Went super out the money, bought myself 2 months. Don't really care about it. My average is $10.01 exactly. And I went light. I didn't go too heavy, but I know if SPY holds this major of a level, we're going to the next macro level at 591.68. This level, you see all the support that we have here? We broke through this level and didn't even retest it. We didn't even end up retesting 591. Okay, so this is the reason why I had such a big price target. What else did we end up doing? I have three strikes right now for VIX put. I have 21, 19, and 17 strike VIX puts, all minimum 2 months out. Instead of going in call options, which are very volatile, even though you're buying 2-3 months out, they're still very, very volatile. The safest thing to do is just short the VIX. Okay, it's not the biggest gains in the world, but it's guaranteed. The only thing guaranteed in life is the VIX going down at all times. When you see the VIX elevated above $19, that's when you start seeing so much volatility enter the market. You're going to be seeing 1 minute and 5 minute candles go 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and it may not look like a lot, but these move very, very quickly. This morning's pre-market live stream, we were able to identify a certain key levels. Okay, the biggest levels to be trading today were 574.79, the open gap that we had, as well as 579. So we also had a level, like the 579 level was a micro level. It wasn't really a macro level. I didn't care too much about it, but this is why I want to teach you guys this right now, okay? So it wasn't that big of a level until, right? Because we were waiting for the 580, 580, 50 level. Until you start seeing this. What does this look like to you guys? Does this look like a roof? Does this look like a level that we cannot break through? Yes. So my micro level turned into now a macro level, and I started seeing weakness on the 5 minute time frame. I ended up bringing 579 puts I got on this exact candle, right? Weakness here, weakness here, weakness here. As soon as we ended up touching, I ended up taking my risk reward at 579 puts same days. Do you know what these contracts printed? Stupid amount of money. Stupid. The time we got to 575, these went up $2.50 on the contracts. Do you take that in? That's a very, very big gain in 15 minutes. And this is ended up being the best trade of the day. The entire morning, I'm like, guys, I don't like this level. First reaction of 579, was not interested whatsoever. Didn't like it. There was nothing about this level that made me I want shorts. So I just was patient and I let the chart develop. Okay, so we came back down to our buy zone as we discussed, but obviously there's one 5 minute wick and it bounced immediately. I don't like trading first reactions, right? I like trading confirmation. So the first reaction, our big key level here, we ended up making a higher low than yesterday. It was a great level to go long. Zero confirmation. Missed out on that. Very slow live stream, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 45 minutes into market open was my first trade of the day. And what did I do? I just waited for the confirmation, guys. 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection. I got the 4th rejection, ended up selling these deep in the freaking money. And I went light here and still had a 4-figure day, going extremely light. 25 contracts, made 4 figures in just this trade. Okay? And I'm telling you, I went very light. I did a starter position. I was looking at my risk to reward. We did have a bullish 5-minute news candle. So even though we were creating a roof, this could have ended up going higher. As I alerted the Discord, this is not the best small account, cash account level. This is a micro level, but right now it's acting as a macro level. I'm taking puts at 579. That's when I got into, and the rest is history. So now we know that we had a big level here from 575.42 and 574.79, the gap. Right? We knew this was the best level to be buying call options. The best level to be buying call options at, because if we lose this level, it's going to be scary, right? Very scary, unpredictable. This is the best level, potentially. Basic technical analysis, my trading strategy, the decade long I've been trading. This is the best level to be buying in at. There's no guarantees to anything, right? If there's guarantee to trading, I would be a billionaire. There's losses that do happen, okay? But I alerted the Discord. I told everyone I'm very bullish at this level, especially holding above this level, especially after yesterday's gap close reversal, a strategy that I teach. We filled the lowest gap on SPY in the current range we're trading. And look at, just to go to show, about 591 calls at 575 yesterday. These went 10 points up. And then look at today at 575. These went 9. Technically, it did go 10 points up from this move. Again, 2 days in a row, and we have the higher low in play, right? So what the higher time frames are showing us is that we have a strong support from our buy zone. Very, very strong support. We are in a massive sloping resistance. We have one all the way down here. We have a next one all the way down here. I don't use sloping, I don't put them in. My eyes are just tuned to it. So I do know we're at a sloping resistance at the moment. So I'm watching major levels. What levels am I watching? You tell me, right? I'm zoomed out. Just go back 5 days, 4 days, right? I'm zoomed out. What do you think is going to happen? Please tell me. What do you think is going to happen looking at this level right here? Right? Basic trading. 584 is this red line. 584.50. The previous support, massive bounce. Resistance, sell-off. Resistance, sell-off. So what does this tell you? If we hold 584.50 as a support, where are we going to? 591.65. Right? And we can follow this down. Look at 591.65. Look at the support here. Look at the support here. Look at the support here. Okay? Look at once we bounce from this level, boom. Bounce from this level, boom. Bounce from this level, boom. Okay? So you know 591.61 is the biggest freaking level to be watching once we hold 584.50 as support. And let me tell you one thing right now. This may not look like too big of a range to you guys. I'm going to make this red just so you guys know. Right? This range, it doesn't look that big. No. That's $8. 8 points on SPY. This is a massive move. And the way I like to trade, I like the best risk to rewards. I like the I'm wrong once trades. And if we hold support at 584, I'm bringing 584 calls deep in the money. I'm telling you right now, because there's nothing for us to reject from. Why? We're just looking at SPY's history, right? The history is support, we go up. We reject, we go down, okay? Now, I'm going to give you the bearish news, okay? If 584 ends up being a resistance like it currently is right now, we're probably going to open around the 580 level. If we end up rejecting this level, we're going straight to 571. This is going to be a dead cat bounce, and we're going to be using our levels to dictate this to the upside and to the downside. So, as of what I'm seeing right now, we're pretty bullish, but we're at massive resistance, the previous support. We hold this here, we go here. We reject here, first stop, 579.12. If we end up showing weakness at 579.12, we're breaking all the way down to 571. The daily time frame, we have a bullish reversal candle at the moment, okay? We filled the last gap on SPY. You don't need indicators. You don't need anything. You got to be watching the chart, right? It's SPY's history. I trade off of SPY's history. I don't trade off of indicator telling me to buy to sell. I'm not looking at fair value gaps. I'm looking at freaking bubbles. I'm not looking at any liquidity. So I ain't looking at shit. All I'm looking at is massive bounce levels and massive resistance rejection levels. Okay? And then I'm using them as confirmation to bring it to my next level. Okay? I'm 80 to 90. I'm 15 points, 16 points out the money calls. You've never seen Sniper do that. My community knows Sniper has never done that. Okay? And you're going to start reading Daily Sniper chat. People are like, SPY's going to dump. SPY's going to dump. We're going to 550, we're going to 500, we're going to 400. Guys, I've been through this cycle multiple times. The fear and greed index, once it is at extreme fear, it's usually the best time to be buying call options at. And as long as that we're holding this gap like we currently are, double support on the daily time frame, we're on track to make a higher low around the 605, 606 level. And honestly, we could rip to the 620. Being honest with you, okay? But I don't have a crystal ball. We're going to be keeping an eye on the news. Trump could say anything. Trump could do anything to tank the market, to make the market rip. If you look at Bitcoin, you could tell Bitcoin's holding liquidity, which is making me bullish. I always kept an eye on Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin went from 100 and some down to 80. Cool, right? That's not a market crash. That's a correction. And zoom out on SPY right now. Look at this. I'm going to show everyone this, okay? Does this look from down here? Okay, look at this area. Does this look bearish to you? There's nothing bearish about it. That's just a liquidity grab. This is just a correction to fill the gaps to go for the next leg up. This chart is not bearish. If you show me this chart, I'm not bearish. That's why I bought calls. That's why I bought $15 out the money calls 2 months away. And the rest is history. I got 10 points 2 days in a row. 10 points. $10 move on SPY. 10 points. Okay? A 100 points for ES 2 days in a row with my contracts. Because I'm just buying. A lot of people thought I was crazy yesterday. Why are you going so far out the money? And B, why are you buying calls now with a knife? Look at the open gaps on SPY. Look at the best levels. Because if we lose this level here, where are we going back down to? Watch my mouse. We're going back down to here, right? You're talking about 15 points down. It's easier for stock markets to go up than back down. So you're telling me people are getting bearish at the lows after a $40 drop? And another thing that I want to show you guys. So I was looking at the 2020. We went over this in this morning's live stream, okay? Where is this? Here, there we go. So let's look at 2020, right? 2022, sorry. You see how we were topping at this range? Look at the drop, right? We went from 458 to 403, right? Almost a 50-point drop, okay? Look at the bounce. I just want you to look at the bounce, okay? We bottomed around, I'm giving you approximate numbers, 402, okay? Where do we end up bouncing? Almost 439. Almost 40 points, right? We dropped 50, we came up 40. Cool. Now let's look at the next drop, okay? Let's look at 439 to 493, right? You're looking at almost a 50-point drop. Watch this. So, 393. Where did the bounce go to? 443. So you're talking about a 50-point rip up. Do you see how this is going? This is SPY's history. Even though SPY wants to go lower, just say the market wants to go lower. Hypothetically, it wants 550. It wants 540. You don't get bearish after a 40-point drop, because SPY has shown us after a 40-point drop, we go up 40. We drop 50, we go up 50. Okay? We drop 60, we go back up 60. And then the rest is history. One mistake I made as a newer trader is I would listen to the news, and it would impact me like, this is so bearish. Oh my God, how are people buying this? And I would try to find like the best level for puts. I would enter, I would be proven wrong, and then I'd wait for the next best level. And I was just focused on shorting and shorting and shorting until you just focus on the bigger picture. And the bigger picture shows us that nothing goes straight up and straight down. If SPY really wants to go lower after this drop, we're making a lower high. That's why I'm giving you that 600 to 606 level to be shorting the lower high to make a lower low. Even this drop, right? We went from 365 to 401. It's 40-point drops, even 40-point corrections, bounces, and rejections in a downfall. That's big numbers. Be very, very careful swinging anything. I can't stress it enough. All right. When the VIX is elevated, you're going to see the big price movements. Okay. And you scroll out and you look back at the daily. We're looking back at SPY's history and we're seeing drops happen and we're seeing bounces happen. This bounce doesn't look like anything until you look like, shit, it's 40 points. This dump doesn't look like anything. To the high, it's 50 points. We went from 443 to the low of 449. We dropped 100 points here. Okay? The market don't just go up, don't just go down. It's zigzag. Make sure you play the best levels. And this just brings me to the reason of why I ended up buying calls after we filled this gap. Right? A lot of people want to know why I went so far with the money. The next biggest level is 591.65. That's the reason why I went 2 months out, 15 points out the money, 16 points out the money. And the rest is history, man. I'm up huge on these. I shorted the VIX. My VIX is up too. And yeah, that's what I'm trading, guys. So as of right now, what am I looking at? What am I looking at for tomorrow? So again, as I told you, once we hold 584.50 as support, we're going to 591. If we end up rejecting 579, we're going all the way to 574.79, and then it's an empty pocket straight to 571. I live stream every single day, pre-market live stream, live trading every day in the Daily Sniper, the #1 options Discord. If you guys would like to be a part of us, we have a 20% off deal happening right now. Use code LEARN for 20%, and I'll see everyone tomorrow morning, Friday. I go live on YouTube every single week, so you could join us there too. And take care, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow.